My name is Cameron Perrick. I'm the Manager of Programs and Stakeholder Relations here at RPRA. I'm joined today by my colleague, Ellen White, who is our HWP Program Lead at RPRA. We also are supported by a number of communications folks, as well as folks in the background who are going to be helping to triage and provide us with your questions for answering live. Before we move forward, I just want to note that if you'd like to answer a question, use the tray below to pose a question in the chat. Those questions can be upvoted, meaning we'd like to know if others posing questions are of interest to you, and you can push those questions right to the top of the queue. We're not going to answer any questions during the presentation, rather save questions for the end of this session. We'd also like to note that the session's being recorded. We will be posting the recording to the website so you can review or share with your colleagues or review again at your own pace. Next slide, please. So today we're going to review a bit of content that was presented during our June webinar to all interested stakeholders, but we are going to move rather quickly through that content, but we'd like to review it for those who are just joining us now and weren't able to attend that webinar. We're going to go through what's changing from your current use of H1 to the new registry operated by RPRA. Talk a little bit about creating your account and using the mobile app, speak to delegation, and then looking ahead, what are the next steps as we proceed towards the January 1st, 2023 effective date of this regulation. And then we'll answer some of your questions. Okay, on to the next slide, please. So for some of you, RPRA is a new entity. So I'm just going to review who we are. So we're the Resource Productivity and Recovery Authority. We're a regulator created by the Government of Ontario. Our core function is to support the transition to a circular economy by winding up and transitioning our legacy waste diversion programs under the WDTA and implementing the new producer responsibility framework under the RRCEA, Resource Recovery Circular Economy Act. We have recently received an expanded mandate, which is to provide registration and reporting services for ministry programs as directed by the minister, such as for excess soil and this program, hazardous waste. So RPRA is accountable to the Minister of the Environment, Conservation and Parks, and RPRA provides information to the minister to support policy decisions, but does not determine policy or write regulations. Next slide, please. For some, this Hazardous Waste Program Registry is new, and this again might be the first time you're learning about it, which is great that you're attending. So what RPRA has been mandated by the ministry to do is to create a digital registry for reporting all information under Ontario's Hazardous Waste Program, including registering facilities and waste streams, on-site waste activities, and manifesting, and most importantly, no more paper manifests. We're also tasked with setting and collecting fees to recover program costs and supporting stakeholders who report under the Hazardous Waste Program. So really important note here, RPRA's Hazardous Waste Program Registry will replace the current HWIN system and will include a mandatory online reporting portal and electronic manifesting solution, including a mobile app. And the ministry will continue their role in oversight of the Hazardous Waste Program and be responsible for compliance and enforcement activities. Next slide, please. Now, just to quickly go over some of the history of the development of this registry. So we've been building the registry in close collaboration with the ministry, our technology partners, and industry stakeholders. And obviously, stakeholder input is very crucial to this process. So engagement activities we've undertaken to date to help inform the development of the registry include industry working group meetings, focus groups, usability testing, one-on-one interviews with industry users, and a broad distributed survey to the current H1 user base. Now I'm going to hand it over to Ellen, who's going to talk a little bit more specifically about what's changing and how you can prepare for this transition.
Thanks, Cam. And for those of you who might have joined a few minutes late, my name is Ellen White. I am the project lead at RPRA for the Hazardous Waste Program Registry project. before we get into a lot of the content we're going to cover today, I did want to kind of center our conversation around the requirements under Regulation 347. That's the General Waste Management Regulation under Ontario's Environmental Protection Act. We're looking at a copy of the, I believe, the current version of the federal movement document that you may be using to do cross-border shipments that you're reporting through the federal Ministry of the Environment CNMTS system. You may also be using this document to fulfill your TDG, your Transportation of Dangerous Goods requirements. When we talk about the registry and we're talking about replacing HWIN, we're replacing the paper reporting of your requirements that are mailed into Ontario's Ministry of the Environment, Conservation and Parks with the digital system. So I just kind of highlighted those fields from the current manifest that are part of those requirements. We'll get into it more in the Q&A. I'm sure people have questions about TDG, but just know we've been working very closely with industry, and we've also been working with Transport Canada to make sure that you'll be able to input information required by TDGA, and that our digital registry will be able to produce a PDF download of a movement document that you'll be able to use to meet your TDG reporting requirements as well. Next slide, Nicola. So when we talk about what's changing, there was an amended Regulation 347 that was released in April of this year. The key changes are really about changing from the paper manifest system into RPRA's online registry. So the who is obligated under the regulation and the what waste is obligated and the what you need to report rules around waste management, none of that is changing. It's really the where you're reporting this information. So it's not in HWIN anymore. It's with this new registry, and it's how. Especially with your manifest, you're no longer using paper manifests. You're going to be able to do all of your manifesting creation sign off through the online registry. Another key change in the regulation you'll notice, and this is probably applies more for those of you in the audience who are also generators or who do work on behalf of generators. But there's no longer any annual registration requirement as of Jan 1, 2023. In the current HWIN system, you need to go in once a year and pay an annual registration fee. You'll no longer have that annual reporting registration requirement. Another key change is the concept of delegation, and we'll get more into detail about what that means and how that's going to work. But the government saw a need to clarify some of the practices that are happening today, whereas waste management companies, as transporters of waste, and if you're also a receiver, recognizing that a lot of the times the expertise about what the waste is lies with you and your companies, and that you're able to provide services on behalf of generators. So delegation really just clarifies in the regulation that that's an acceptable practice and provides some guidance about how that will work. As I mentioned, most of the changes that are written into the amended regulation take effect on January 1st, 2023. Summarizing the key changes again, we're eliminating the annual registration requirement for each generating facility. This is the process that, if you are a generator or you work with them, happens at the beginning of each year and is due on February 15th. So you won't have to do that anymore. We're also ending paper manifests for waste shipments. So as of January 1, you're no longer having your multi-copy paper manifest and mailing different copies to various parties on the manifest or the government. All parties are going to be able to have access to that information within our digital registry. The same, the substance of your reporting is remaining the same. So reporting generation facilities, waste information related to that, your land disposal or restriction requirements, all of that is the same. Requirements of who needs to manifest and what information goes on the manifest, that's also staying the same. Obligations of when you have to do manifests, it stays the same. What's changing is, again, you're going to have to report all of that information through RPRA's registry. You're going to be able to delegate, or a generator is going to be able to delegate to possibly you as carriers or as waste management companies. You are also, a key change for carriers is going to be that you will need to create a registry account. I know that today, some of you may have accounts in HWin if you're signed up for the e-manifesting option, but moving forward, all carriers and receivers will need to create registry accounts. We won't get into it much in detail today, but we have been talking to industry about the desire to link up their internal data information systems to the registry to be able to send information from their systems into the registry through an API integration. That is a feature that we are working on. But I won't go into detail with that today. If you have questions, you can type them into the Q&A. But that is a process because of the complexity and the technical requirements. We are underway with that process with certain companies who reached out to us earlier in the development process of the project. Next slide, please. So the question becomes, I didn't need, an account in HWin. Unless I was doing e-manifesting, why do I need a registry account? And you're going to need a registry account in order to be listed on a manifest as a carrier. In order to create or edit manifests, you're going to do that through your registry account. And also the ability to sign manifests on website or mobile app. A key advantage of this new digital system is all the information is recorded in real time. And so at any point in time, you as a party listed on a manifest will be able to see where that shipment is, whether it's on the road, whether it's at the receiving site. And as well, it's also helpful for us and our ministry colleagues to have an understanding of where waste is being shipped in the province in real time. Our registry opens November 15th, so mark your calendar with that date. This is the date that our registry will open to allow businesses to come in early and set up their account well in advance of January 1st, so that if you have a shipment going out on New Year's Day, if there's no break for you, you'll be ready to send that shipment out and be in compliance with the requirements. You'll be able to do that via the online registry. You'll notice in the regulation as of January 1st, 2023, you are no longer, paper manifests are no longer accepted. It's important that any driver who will be transporting hazardous waste will need to be added to the registry account that you're setting up. That's because we're designing not only an online registry, but a mobile app that drivers will be able to use as they're on the road. When they arrive at the generating site to pick up a shipment, they'll be able to review the manifest right from their mobile app and be able to ensure that the generator is signing off on it, that the driver is completing their carrier information and they're signing off on it, and then the shipment can be moved onto the road in compliance with our regulations. Time permitting, we're going to be able to show you a pre-recorded demo of how this will work. So you'll get a sense of how our mobile app and our online registry will work. If you are manifesting waste between now and the end of the calendar year, you will still be processing that through the current HWIN system. So if you're currently mailing manifest for your 2022 shipments, you'll continue to do that. It's really those shipments that have a ship date in 2023 that will need to be reported through the new registry. Creating a registry account, we like to say it's simple and straightforward. It's just a few steps listed on the screen there. You'll just need some key information about your business, your CRA number. If you don't have a CRA number, you'll be able to contact registry support for a workaround. So if you're a business that operates outside of Ontario or outside of Canada, you'll still be able to use our registry. Entering your business contact information, the contact information for the users of your registry account. You'll set some passwords and then you'll be good to go. If you already have a registry account, whether you are part of our excess soils program, or if you report under tires or electronics or anything else, you'll be able to use your same registry account, and you'll just add hazardous waste as a new program under your existing account. We are building a mobile app. It's RPRA's first mobile app, and it's one we're really excited about. It's going to be compatible with iOS and Android, and it will be available for download as of November 15th. As I mentioned, the app's going to allow carrier businesses and their drivers to view and sign manifests. You'll also be able to create new manifests, so your Part A and B on the current paper document. As well, receivers will be able to complete like their Part C of the manifest right from the mobile app. The question I'm sure is going to come up about offline access. Yes, we recognize that there's going to be times where drivers are out of the cell range or don't have access to Wi-Fi. So the app will have an offline mode to allow drivers to access information on the manifest, even if they're not connected to a cell signal. Fees. We get questions about fees quite a lot, and we love those questions because RPRA is a cost recovery program. We are funded by the registrants who are required to report into us. We're not funded by the government. As such, it's very important for us to set our fees annually to make sure we are only collecting enough fees to cover our costs, and we're not profiting. So we are going to be consulting publicly on our fees in the fall of 2022. All of you will be notified when we have more information about that consultation. If you want some more information about the kinds of fees under that will be applied to the hazardous waste program, you'll be able to kind of click on the link when you get a copy of this deck and read through the regulation yourself. But for now, I'll just say that we are preserving any existing fee exemptions that you currently have under the hazardous waste program. We're going to be honoring those fee exemptions. And in fact, it's written into the regulation that we're not going to be able to charge fees to parties who are exempt from paying them today. Now for how HWP registry users will pay your fees, it's going to work a little bit different from HWIN. Again, wanting to clarify that this is a generator responsibility program. So largely it will be generators who are going to be paying fees unless they've delegated to an authorized generator delegate. So instead of, you may be familiar with the current HWIN process where generators have the ability to prepay for their manifesting throughout the year and to have a balance. There will not be a balance in the new registry. We will be generating a monthly invoice that will include all of the manifesting activities, and that will be payable every month. So if you are an HWin user, if you're an HWin generator and you have a prepaid balance, just know that we're not transferring any of those balances to the new registry. So you may want to keep that in mind if you're planning to top up soon. We recommend you reach out to the HWin information unit and get some clarity around how you'll be managing your accounts, closing them out after the transition. I also know the ministry will be providing that information directly to HWin users, so keep an eye out for that information from the ministry. On to delegation. What is an authorized generator delegate? There's this new definition in the regulation. We really, the ministry's goal here was just to clarify some of the work that that you as carriers or waste management companies already provide to your generator clients. So there's two options for delegation in the registry. The one is what we call full delegation. This would be when a generator and the AGD have a written agreement in place. The AGD would then be the entity that creates the registry account, and they'll be able to manage the generator's facilities, waste information, all reporting, be able to do all the manifest sign-offs, as well as pay fees from their generator that are from the generating facilities. The other option is a partial delegation model. This would be where it's the generator company who creates the registry account. If they have a written agreement in place with an AGD, that's happening outside of the registry system. If you have an agreement in place, it would then be the generator who's able to go into their account and grant access to one or more authorized generator delegates. Those delegates will be able to manage facility waste information, all of the on-site activities and manifests, including signing off on behalf of the generator. In this partial delegation, the exception would be fee payment, where those invoices would go back to the generator, and it would be the generator's responsibility to pay those fees. In the Q&A, we can go into more information about delegation. I just know that we have a packed agenda, so I wanted to make sure we have time to get through the rest of the presentation. Hopefully, being an AGD is something that you have in mind. If you're already a business that identifies and reports waste in HWin on behalf of generators, if you want to continue the service, then you will be acting as an AGD in the registry. You have some decisions to make, and if you notice at the bottom, we have a contact information for where we're going to be supporting you in making this decision. But you want to determine if you're going to be a full or partial delegate for your clients. Again, just noting that if you're a full delegate, it'll be the AGD company that will receive the invoices and pay manifest and tonnage fees. You may need service agreements in place with your generator clients to work out then how those payments will follow through to the generator. Once you have determined what level of delegation service you're going to provide to your clients, we encourage you to contact your generator clients and let them know about the transition in general, and let them know about their ability to delegate to service providers. We also know that we're going to be doing our generator focused information sessions in the next couple of weeks. And so it's possible that your generator clients will be contacting you for information. So it would be a great idea to prepare your staff to be able to answer questions from your clients as well. You don't need a lot to provide the registry with a lot of information regarding delegation. But if you are a full delegate and you're going to be creating accounts on behalf of your clients, in order to make sure that all of the generated data that's in HWin today is able to be moved into the new registry, You will need to know the current generator numbers and H1 usernames for each of your clients. Having all of this in place by November 15th will just make sure that you are prepared and ready to create your account on November 15th. So hopefully I made good time so that we're able to walk you through a brief demonstration of the registry. This is a presentation that was done by our technology partners, PwC Canada, and who are building the registry for us, as well as our partner Vienna, who are building the mobile app. Just one thing to keep in mind, this is a work in progress. So while the functionality is working, you'll notice some placeholder text in there. So final text and wording on the screen is subject to change. But yeah, let's go ahead and watch this demo. So I'm not quite sure if everyone else can hear the sound. I know on my end, I'm not really hearing any sound coming through.
Can you still hear it, Ellen?
No, yeah, we're not, the sound's not coming through, Nicola. I'm wondering if there's another option just so that we can hear the talk track as well.
Hi everyone, my name is John Conway. I'm a functional lead here at PwC Canada. I'm working as part of the team working on the Hazardous Waste Registry portal build. I'll also let my colleague Keshpan introduce himself.
Hello, my name is Kishopan. I'm the senior software developer at Vienna, who's assisting in developing the mobile app.
Perfect, thank you Keshpan. So today we'd like to do a short demonstration just to showcase the functionality regarding creating a new manifest on the mobile application and highlighting how the information which is entered on the mobile application is replicated on the desktop application and how that synchronizes live as well. So for a little bit of context setting, the screens you're seeing right now, on the left-hand side, you are seeing our desktop application, and on the right-hand side, you are seeing the mobile application. On the top left of the desktop, you can see the name Stanford Waste. That is the name of the company that we are logged in as. And on the top right of the desktop, our user is Ryan Creek. Alternatively, on the right-hand side on the mobile application, you can see that we're still logged in as Stanford Waste, so for that particular account, and our user is Jordan River. So we have two different users from the same company logged in. If we close the profile page on the mobile application, you will see that both users can see the same manifest listed there.
Hello,
The information which is entered on the mobile application is replicated on the desktop application and how that synchronizes live as well. So for a little bit of context setting, the screens you're seeing right now, on the left-hand side, you are seeing our desktop application, and on the right-hand side, you are seeing the mobile application. On the top left of the desktop, you can see the name Stanford Waste. That is the name of the company that we are logged in as. And on the top right of the desktop, our user is Ryan Creek. Alternatively, on the right-hand side on the mobile application, you can see that we're still logged in as Stanford Waste, so for that particular account, and our user is Jordan River. So we have two different users from the same company logged in. If we close the profile page on the mobile application, you will see that both users can see the same manifest listed there. So that manifest listed there ending in 1388 for the Lakeshore factory and currently has that status of in transit. So they can both see the same piece of information. But what we're going to walk through is we're going to walk through the process to create a new manifest on the mobile application. So to do that, our user on the right-hand side, Jordan, is going to click on the New Manifest button. So there are multiple steps involved with creating a new manifest. The first step is to select our generating company. So by clicking on the Select the Generator Company, we have the ability to search with various fields to identify the correct generator associated with this manifest. For the purpose of this demo, we're going to search for Lakeshore Factory, and that is the name of our facility. And as we type, you'll see that the results are being populated for us. So here's the generator we're looking for. So we can just click on that and click on select. And now that that's been created, we've actually started the process of initiating our manifest. So going back to the desktop application on the left-hand side, we refresh this page now. You can see that we have a new manifest that's just been created for us there and with a status of draft. So if we click into that manifest itself too, now you can see on our overview page, we've got the details of our generator listed here, and we'll go through the next few steps to add in the carrier, receiver, and the waste information too. So right now, it's indicating there's no coverage for waste. We haven't added in the carrier information or the waste information just yet, but I'll highlight that again in a second. So the second step is to select our carrier. So in a very similar way as to how we select the generator, we select the carrier by clicking on that in the mobile application. Again, we can search via various fields. This time we'll search for our carrier by the ECA number. So we'll search for 8524-V8. There you go, popped up for us there. So you can see the results are populating as we type. We can select our carrier, click on that, click on select. And now the carrier details have been added to our manifest. So we will refresh that page on the left-hand side on our desktop application. And you can see now that we've done that, that the carrier information has also been populated on our desktop application as well. So the next step is to select the receiver. So very much the same way as how we've done before. We're going to add in a receiver. This time we'll search for the address of the receiver. So we'll enter 16 Pole Street. Once more, as we type, we'll see there's our receiver that we can select. So we can click on that and click on select now. So now we selected our receiver on the mobile application. We will refresh on the desktop application one more time. And you see our receiver information has been added there too. So then the next step on the mobile application is to add in our waste information, which we can do by clicking on the Add Waste Information button here. And at the top of the page, we have to enter in the required information for the shipment details. So we'll put in a scheduled arrival date of August 5th of 2022. We can select as follows for our special handling, which will allow us to put in some extra information in that box. So maybe we'll just write in that this is fragile. And then scrolling down, we'll enter in a 24-hour emergency contact number, 1-866-966-1466, and an extension 3 if there is one. So now we can add in a specific waste stream for the manifest by searching for our waste stream that was created at this specific generated facility that we've already selected. So once more, to make the information super easy to find, we can click on the Select Waste button, and we can search via various fields. For this one, if we search for the word acidic, you can see there's our waste stream there that we can select. So we can click on this one, click on Select, and now we'll enter in a few extra pieces of information here. So we've already had our shipping name and our shipping information pulled through from the waste stream itself. So it's populated some information, which we can show if we look on the desktop application on the left. Actually, here's the waste stream itself that was already created. And you can see how some of these details have already been populated on the right-hand side on our mobile application when we selected that waste stream However, we are missing a couple of fields here. So we'll put in the quantity shipped. So let's put in 2 kilograms here. And then, of course, although this information was pre-filled for us from the existing waste stream, we can update any of these details if we so choose. So, for example, we can change that packing group from a 2 to a 3. So now we've added all of the information we're looking for. We can scroll down and review that, and then click on Create Manifest. Okay. Now that the manifest has been created, if we go back to our desktop application and we'll refresh this once more, you can see that we've got all of our information under the generator, carrier, and receiver. This time you can see that the waste ECA confirmation has indicated that that particular carrier and receiver are covered for the waste classes that were listed on our selected waste stream that we've input. And if we scroll back to the top of that page and click on the Waste tab, you can see the details about our waste information have been added as well. So this now concludes that demonstration of how the mobile application and the desktop application have and provide a synchronized experience for our users. And you can see how the information has been updated live on both experiences. Thank you very much for your time.
So I hope that was informative for all of you, and we will make that recording available after the after today's presentation, so you can go and review that demo. Again, I know that there's some wording. I noticed there was one old TDG wording around 24-hour number, so rest assured, by the time we go live, all of that wording will be final and accurate. I noticed a lot of hands being raised earlier, and that's so great that a lot of you have questions. I think given the size of the audience for today, we're going to be doing our Q&A via the chat. So make sure you're entering your questions into that Q&A chat and then upvoting ones that you like and you want us to answer, so that we can get through as many questions as we can. For now, just wanted to go through some of the looking ahead between now and our registry go live, things that you can prepare for. So this is a change. It's a new system. Maybe some of you are familiar with our registry system, but I think for everyone, we recognize that this is a new registry and a new system to learn. So we are going to be providing comprehensive training and training materials and support for future users. They're all going to be available on our website. We're also going to do some interactive training sessions and more information sessions like the one you're joining today. A lot of different formats of our training materials, because we know that people have different training needs and different ways they like to learn. So we are going to be doing kind of standard virtual instructor-led training. So kind of similar here, where you'll have an instructor and you'll have a presentation that'll walk through certain concepts and steps to take. Also going to be doing some shorter videos so that if you are in the middle of doing something in the system, you'll be able to quickly reference a short little video to get you through the step that you may be stuck on, as well as simulation. So you'll be able to practice entering some of the data and performing some of those actions so that you have it in a safe test environment versus experimenting in your registry account. We know as well people like documents, so you're going to have documents in 2 forms. You're going to have some short, quick reference guides, a page, page and a half, that you'll be able to look at for specific task instructions, as well as some longer step-by-step instructions. So if you wanted to, you know, access a PDF or even print it out and have it next to you as you work through your reporting in the registry, you'll be able to do that. We will be doing content for carriers only, as well as generators, receivers, delegates. and it'll cover all of the functionality of the registry. So we want to make sure that everyone is comfortable with every aspect of the registry. We are going to be rolling out our training materials as they're ready, but by November, so in advance of the registry going live, all of these training materials will be available to you. If you click on the link, once you get a copy of this deck, you'll be able to sign up for our newsletter, where you're going to get lots of status updates about when these materials are ready. You can also always go to our website, and I may be forging ahead, Nicola. I think on the next slide, we go into it in detail. Oh, I'll get back to the resources one slide after this. So I'll take a pause to take you through some key dates. Between now and early fall, obviously for a lot of you, you're here representing your carrier companies, and you have employees who aren't able to be here today, including your drivers. So we encourage you to make sure that everyone in your company is aware of the transition. Send them a copy of this presentation, or get some information from our website so that all of your employees are aware of the transition, and that they know that they're going to be moving away from completing paper manifests. In order to use the app, of course, we're trying to make it as compatible with as many devices as possible. So it is going to be Apple or Android, but good idea to make sure that your drivers have access to a mobile app or tablet or laptop, but a piece of technology, and as well that they have an email address that they'll be able to use to set up access to the app. They'll just need to provide name, email. That's the only information we need from your drivers. You will need to decide if you're going to be a delegate on behalf of generator clients and what level of delegation that will be. And again, be prepared to talk to your clients about your decision, and be prepared to answer questions that may come in from your clients about delegation. In late September is when we're planning on doing our public consultation on fees. By November at the latest is when our comprehensive training materials will be available. And November 15th, put it on your calendars. That's the date that we go live, to allow you to come in early, to set up your registry account, download the mobile app, and make sure everything's in place for January 1, which is when you will be required to start reporting in RPRA's registry. Now's the page where we show you all of the different places where you can go to get more information from us. Our website has a comprehensive program page for the Hazardous Waste Program. We are providing information about the transition. We're also providing information about where we are in the project build. So please check out our website for that. We did a general webinar back in the end of June, I believe, that gave an overview of the registry and the transition. This is our first of role-specific focused sessions. So we're going to be rolling out those. So if you are, as many of you are probably also receivers, also generators, keep an eye out for invites to those future sessions. As mentioned, we publish a monthly newsletter with more information. And if you have questions for us, email is the best place to reach us. If you have questions about the current HWP program or about the requirements in the regulation, you can contact the ministry at hwpmodernization@ontario.ca. If you have questions for RPRA about the new registry, you can contact us at hwp@rpra.ca. Now I'm going to pass it over to Melanie, who's going to help moderate our all the questions that have come in from you.
Thank you, Ellen. So the first question is, TDG still specifically requires drivers to carry the paper version of a TDG compliant document. The manifest serves this purpose. How will the new system address the caveat?
Thank you. Yeah. So our system you'll be able to enter information you'll be able to enter your TDG information right into the registry. And then you'll be able to access a PDF printout that you'll be able to print out and keep in your vehicles for TDG purposes. That's true whether your company has created a manifest, or if a generator has created it and you're listed as a carrier on the manifest. You'll be able to access that information from our system and print out a TDG compliant manifest document. I will mention, if you are using 2 pieces of paper right now, so you're using like a bill of lading to meet your TDG requirement and then a movement document to meet your Ontario requirements, that requirement to have like the paper manifest for Ontario requirements is going away. So yeah, if you're currently using 2 pieces of paper to meet multiple different requirements, to meet your Ontario requirements, you're putting information in our digital system. You're not mailing anything to us or having that with you.
The next question is, how will this integrate with cross-border movements, international and within Canada?
Yeah, so we recognize that there's that the federal and Ministry of the Environment has their CNMTS system, which requires you to enter information about your cross-border shipments. That doesn't go away. You'll still have to report your cross-border shipments through that process, or your cross-provincial requirements, if that's what you're doing today. We are saying that you will have to provide your Ontario-specific requirements into the registry as well.
The next question is, if a carrier's driver phones die, breaks, can they continue to complete their route? How will they obtain sign-off from generator and then confirm offload at a receiver in a situation like that?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And as part of our business planning, we're going through all of those scenarios. What happens if our system crashes? What happens if a driver's phone dies, stops working? Our goal is to make sure that these shipments continue through Ontario. So we're working through a lot of scenarios, and we're going to be able to provide information about what happens in those emergency situations. Know that because of the real-time transfer of data, you'll also be able to access that information from one person's mobile app, from another person in your company's mobile app, from a desktop. So it's not as if the information is only on that local device. The information is going to be shared across, uploaded in real time into the system. So if one device crashes, you'll be able to access that information from desktop, someone else's device. So hopefully that alleviates some of that risk.
Next question is, if we are a generator and carrier, do we have to register 2 separate accounts?
No, and we'll get into this more in detail in our generator specific session. But a key difference between our registry and HWIN is you'll be able to manage all of your facilities and all of your roles, whether you're a generator, carrier, receiver, from one company account. So you'll be able to log in and you'll be able to action items through your various facilities. As a generator, you'll be able to, complete and sign manifests as a receiver or as a carrier. So yeah, we wanted to make the access as easy as possible under one corporate account.
The next question is, currently the generator needs to sign the manifest when the carrier comes to the facility to remove the waste. How is it going to work in this new system? How generator acknowledge the removal of the waste?
Yeah, there's going to be multiple ways that a generator will be able to do that sign off. As a carrier, you can still, if you're creating manifests today, you can still create manifests in the future, whether or not you're a delegate. So no change there. You'll be able to create a manifest. When you get to the generator site, the generator can log into their registry account and click a button saying, yes, I I confirm that this waste is being picked up. Or if it's at a facility where it's not necessarily a generator account holder who's able to log in, right from the mobile app, you'll have the ability to enter the contact information for the generator, and they'll be able to do a sign off with like a little signature panel. If you are a delegate and if you're authorized to work on to sign on behalf of the generator, the carrier user will be able to do that sign off as well.
The next question is two questions. Is there an ability to set up information such as preferred carriers?
Can you set up information to preferred carriers? There's a couple things so as a generator, is that?
So the question is there an ability to set information such as preferred carriers, receivers, emergency contact in a setting?
There's going to be a couple things. So one is we've made it easy to do searches for your carriers and receivers. So even by typing in the first couple letters of a carrier or receiver company, you'll be able to kind of select them from a list, and all that information will be automatically put onto a manifest. If you're doing frequent shipments where you're using the same receiver and carrier a lot of the times, there's also going to be a copy manifest feature where you can just kind of quickly copy that information into a new manifest, and so you're not having to enter that information each time.
The second part of the question is there a data interchange that will allow for waste details to be uploaded rather than manual entry?
From HWIN to the registry, yes. So again, this is something we'll go into detail in our generator session, but if you're a generator in HWIN and you have a bunch of generator numbers and facilities and a lot of waste and information tied to those facilities, yes, that information will be migrated into the new registry, and you'll be able to kind of look up that information and pull it and link it to your registry account.
Next question is, when we fill in an online manifest, will we be able to input a UN number and the shipping name clause automatically populate?
No. That information is specific to TDG. And so we wouldn't want to be in a position where we're responsible for TDG compliant information. What you can do is if you're shipping a waste frequently, you can, if you're a generator, you can save that UN number and that shipping name information from TDGA. You can save that to the waste stream so that anytime that waste stream is added to a manifest, that information auto-populates. The other thing you can do is if you have one manifest where it's been entered accurately, you can use the copy manifest feature to make sure that that's on any future manifests that you copy.
The next question is, when we fill, will paper manifest still be available for use?
So as I mentioned, no. No, the goal here is that as of January 1, everyone is using the registry to meet their Ontario manifesting requirements. So no, no paper manifests after January 1.
Next question is, as a receiver, what do I do if a carrier shows up on January 2nd with a paper manifest?
So you will hopefully be in a position where, well, hopefully you won't be in that position. We are doing a lot of outreach with our receiver groups as well. So we're doing a receiver focus session tomorrow, and we're going to be doing as much direct outreach as possible with all current HWIN receivers so that hopefully that doesn't happen. But if it does, I'll have to get back to you. Our colleagues in the Ministry of the Environment, Conservation and Parks, they are retaining the compliance and enforcement functions of this program. And so they'll be able to to provide more information about compliance guidance, but really hope that with our outreach efforts that we are not in that position. I think we are going to take a pause now so that we can launch a brief poll. We're always trying to improve on the performance of these webinars. So we've launched the poll now. While everyone is getting a chance to vote on that, I'll just point out that on our website, we do have an extensive FAQ section, and we do have FAQs posted about the Hazardous Waste Program. So hopefully if we weren't able to get to your question today, the answers are provided in those FAQs. Okay, Melanie, so just let us all know when you're getting ready to close out the poll.
The poll has ended, Ellen.
Okay, thanks, Melanie. So we have 4 minutes left, and we have a bunch more questions to get through. So in the interest of getting through as many as possible, why don't we continue answering some questions?
The next question is, what if corrections are required on a manifest after the waste has been transported? How will this work?
It's going to work within the registry system. And as part of our training materials, we'll be able to walk through step by step how that will work. But in the system, instead of having to mail copies back and forth between the various parties, you'll be able to signal a correction to the manifest right within the system. All of the parties who would need to sign off on it will be notified within the system, and that'll all happen seamlessly. So no more having to get on the phone and no more having to mail copies back and forth.
The next question is, so you're saying that the driver will have to access to a printer while they are trying to do their manifest for TDG, or if they get pulled for an inspection by the federal government and we are asked to provide their manifest?
So again, our registry is for our Ontario requirements, and our Ontario requirements say that that information has to be in the registry. We don't have a paper requirement in Ontario, but yes, if you are using a paper printout from our registry to meet your TDG requirement, that will have to be printed out. I do know, again, I don't work for Transport Canada, but I do know there is a variance program if you want to go digital. So I would encourage you to contact TDG for information if you feel that being able to have having a printed movement document is your only recourse for meeting your TDG requirement. I encourage you to contact Transport Canada and look into that information.
The next question is, will all generators have access to all other carriers and receiver data? Or is that information limited to carriers and receivers that give a generator specific access?
It depends what you mean by data. Any carrier or receiver will have the ability to create a manifest. And as part of that manifest creation process, you'll be able to select from any generator, carrier, receiver in the system. And as you add that information to the manifest, you'll have all the required contact information. You'll be able to add any waste that is registered to a generator to that manifest. We know that certain information is confidential or commercially sensitive, so we've taken great pains to make sure that that information is not openly available. But for the purposes of manifest, the information that would currently be on hwin.ca, generate or lookup, that is the sort of information that's going to be available within the manifest as you're creating your manifest.
Next question is there capability for VER to have multiple carriers and or drivers in the system for the same load?
Yeah, so for this one, I'm gonna caveat to say in Ontario, the only multi-carrier situation that's acceptable is a truck to rail or rail to truck, and that would be under your carrier ECA, whether you're allowed to do that. Our system will, just like the current system, it will allow you to upload and send in a multi-carrier form where you're listing all the carriers in your shipment. So yes, we will be able to accommodate multiple carriers if your ECA allows for you to do that. I know that we're at time, and I'm just so thankful that everyone has joined us till now. I think I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Cameron Perrick to wrap it up for us today.
Ellen, I was hoping there's one more question I think it's really important to address. It's just at the top of the pile here, which is about emergency spills. I think it might be worthwhile to cover that question, then we'll close off. So the question is, in the event of an emergency spill, do we still call spills action for an emergency generator number?
Yes, you do. We will also be providing a lot of information about how to report spills in the new registry, and we work very closely with Spills Action to create a process that's as streamlined as possible. So without getting into step by step, the process will be you'll call Spills Action, you'll get your emergency number, you will enter that information into the registry. You'll be asked to provide a streamlined amount of data so that you can get that waste shipped and you'll alleviate that emergency situation. So yeah, you're still calling Spills Action, and there will be a streamlined process to be able to manifest that emergency quickly and safely.
That's great. I thought this was a great question for carriers that I wanted to make sure we covered. Okay, well, thanks everyone for joining. I know we're a bit over time. Many of you are OTA members as well as OWMA members. So we're going to equip those two associations with a copy of these presentation materials. We're also going to post the deck and the recording to our HWP program page to make those available. So please look out for those if you'd like to distribute internally or learn more. We've also got our HWP@RPRA.ca inbox. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to us and we're happy to support you. So once again, thanks for the time, and please stay tuned for further information as we're able to share. And again, thanks a lot for joining. Thanks, Ellen.